Greetings. How to set the DK1 Death Clutch Gopher trap. In this video I'm going to show you 3 different ways. First up, I'm going to show you the method that the manufacturer recommends, and then I'm going to show you an alternative to that. Not everybody is right-handed, and not everyone has the same dexterity in either hand. So the second method just might work out for you. Neither one of these is right or wrong. It's what works for you. And then lastly, or thirdly, I'm going to show you how to set the DK1 using the Burrow Buddy trap setting feature. With this feature, you load the trap in the Burrow Buddy, and then it comes with a winding rod, which gives you a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage in winding the spring. I came up with this idea a couple years ago. My grandson was trapping, and he was unable to wind that stiff DK1 spring. So with this method, it's both safe and easy. I've got a bucket that's half full of traps and stakes, but I thought for this video maybe it'd be nice to have a couple new traps for the filming. So I stopped down to Fleet Farm and picked up a couple new DK1s. Well, I'd started the filming, the camera was rolling, and I found that the trap that I was demonstrating with, it was real tight. The little hook end of the trigger rod just didn't want to slide down on the left trap jaw like it should, and rather than just trading this out for the other trap, which was fine, I decided to make a teaching moment of it, and I just took the trap over to the vise and made a small adjustment with a chainsaw file. After you place the trigger rod over the left jaw and slid the trigger down over the trigger rod about an inch, now it's time to wind the spring. Holding the trap in your right hand, put your left hand thumb on the end of the spring, and then the first 2 fingers on your left hand go underneath the spring. Holding the trap in this position, then rotate your right hand and the handle of the trap in a clockwise direction, almost a full turn, until the end of the spring meets up with the handle of the trap, and then hook the end of the spring over the handle. Now the trap is set and ready to be placed in the hole. One thing I would like to point out, with your fingers in this position, when you go to wind the trap, wind the spring on the trap, the end of this trigger rod is going to travel around, is going to make the rotation around with the handle of the trap, and as you can see, when it goes around, it's going to go end up rubbing against your index finger on your left hand. So this is why we always say when setting a trap, always wear gloves. It's pretty obvious that The jaws are sharp and intimidating, but don't overlook this area right here on the end of the trigger rod. It's also sharp. And the other place that you can get poked is the end of the spring. So you got to be also aware that that's a sharp area also. So be aware of that when you're handling a trap. So there's an alternative to having both fingers on the handle side of the trigger, and that would be spread them out, put your index finger on your left hand on the jaw side of the trigger, and then in this position, when you wind the spring, the end of the trigger rod it's still going to rotate, but it'll rotate in an area where there isn't any finger. This is a method that I would prefer to use. Rather than having both on one side, spread them out, put one finger on the other side. Give the end of that trigger rod a place to rotate where there isn't going to be a finger. In this video clip, I'm going to show you an alternative way of setting the DK1 gopher trap. We're going to hold the trap in your right hand with the jaws facing down at about 8 o'clock. Then we're going to place the trap in your left hand so that when you bring your little finger down, it hits the loop on the end about halfway. Then wrap your fingers around the handle and bring your thumb down to form a fist. Now with your right hand, put the middle finger underneath that loop on the end of the spring and bring your thumb down so it rests against the end of the coils. Now we're ready to wind the spring. To wind the spring, we're going to be pushing in and down with the right thumb, and at the same time be winding the handle with the left hand. The Burrow Buddy gopher trapping tool has a built-in feature for setting the DK1 gopher trap safe and easy. On the top here we got a round hole, there's a slot, and a welded rivet. To load the DK1 gopher trap into the trap setting feature, just take the trap with the jaws facing away from you. Put one jaw through the round hole on the top, the other jaw through the slot, then just move the trap down behind the rivet. Place your thumb over this area to hold it in place. Then take the winding rod, slip the short end through the spring eye, roll it down against the spring, and you're ready to wind. You'll be winding in a clockwise direction, almost a full turn, until the end of the spring just passes the handle, then pull it over and let it hook. I'm going to leave the trigger slid down over the trigger rod until after I've checked my set hole for size. Then I'll move it back so there's only about 1 or 2 springs showing. Then I'll carefully slip that down the set hole and stake it down.